nERD bOX.
After watching the trailer for Don't Breathe 2, you may have been left scratching your head and asking,
Oh, what?
why are you trying to sell me on a character who is a vile human being that does bad things with turkey basters as the protagonist? Why? This is Dave from nERD bOX. Welcome you back to another episode of the Popcorn Confessional, and I am accompanied by my wife Jennifer, and we're going to talk about this marketing nightmare of Don't Breathe 2 and why you should see it. So fire up that Jiffy Pop and meet us in the booth.
The blind man, as he's known, Norman Nordstrom, is living in solitude, raising his daughter, Phoenix, and teaching her to be a survivalist. Hernandez, an army ranger who makes supply runs for Norman, manages to convince him to let Phoenix go with her into town, where she attracts the attention of a strange man who follows them home with a group of thugs to kidnap the little girl.
That's all we can tell you.
Yeah, that's literally all we can tell you.
What we can tell you, and what we have heard from talking to people at the theaters and online, is this is not the movie that you think it is.
Yes.
Sometimes you can have a film where they're all assholes and are fighting against each other, and I think that is what we have here. We have antagonist versus antagonist.
Yes.
And for me, I couldn't really figure out what was going on. So what did you think of the film?
So, yeah. It did take a minute or an hour to figure out what exactly was going on.
Which is not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's not. Because it is a good story going up to that point. But it does take a minute to figure out what exactly is going on. Because based on like trailers and even the very beginning of the movie, it isn't what you think it is at all. Yeah. That's all we can tell you, but it definitely is not what you think it is. And in the end, you're probably going to be kicking yourself for having to like one of the bad guys. Because that's all it is. It's bad guy versus bad guy.
Well, that's something that we kind of talked about before filming this. That's good story writing.
Absolutely.
When you have a vile human being and you twist his character certain ways where maybe you're rooting for the character or maybe you're rooting for the other vile human beings in this movie. Mm-hmm. This movie is just filled of scum, except for the little girl Phoenix. Everybody is horrible.
Yeah, and I actually had just had that conversation recently about The Walking Dead. How I hated, you can ask him, hated Negan, didn't even want to meet Jeffrey Dean Morgan because I hated the character so much. And now I root for him. And I feel for him. And I said, that's excellent writing. If you can flip it to get the person to feel bad for the bad guy.
Not me. Down with Negan day one.
You're sick.
What? So there's a little eyeball here and there's a little scalp there.
Okay.
Down since day one. And in the comics too. For me with this film here, there was some things that I did not like about the movie. Mm-hmm. And that is, I do not need a director or a writer to kind of put little Easter eggs and foreshadowing of what's going to happen in the next scene or what weapon may be used soon or what hiding place. Mm-hmm. That I don't appreciate. I'm not an idiot. I watch horror movies for a long time. Sometimes it's really easy to figure those things out. So I don't need you to make it blatant for me. So that kind of bugged me a little bit. Mm-hmm. Too much. But with the trailer, with the review, you can't talk about what's really going on in this movie because it's going to give it away. It's very hard to portray in a trailer or a teaser, but it's not a protagonist. And the sucky part about this is the movie's going to suffer for it. Because the first one made over $156 million on a $10 million budget. This was a $15 million budget, and it opened up, and its weekend was a little over 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the way people are thinking about this movie, it's really going to hurt it, even though they're planning to do a third one.
There's a lot of confusion with the trailer. So that's kind of why, like, you know, we went to see it, and now we're telling you, go see it. Mm-hmm. It's not what you think it is. It's not what they market it as.
And there's not a lot of rehashing of things that we've seen already done in the first one, which is good.
Yeah.
Because usually you have a movie that's so popular, it's like, all right, well, I'm going to tweak the way this was done in that first movie and have it kind of done again. No, this is a movie that can stand alone from the first one.
Yeah. While
they may be connected, they're not really connected.
I don't think they're connected. I think the connection's supposed to come in the third one. I don't see a connection between this one and the first one, besides just maybe knowing who the characters are, as far as Norman goes.
That's it.
And his past. That's what you really need to know. But then again, maybe not.
Yeah.
I think you could watch it without having seen the first one.
Yeah, they're two good movies to stand apart from each other to watch. And there is no real rehashing of anything that was done in the first movie, except for the one like, oh, now you see what I see. But the way that was done really good.
Oh yeah,
and it's great. It's not in the place where it's shown in the trailer. It's somewhere completely different. Because I thought it's like, oh great, another trailer that shows something that I actually want to see that they cut out from the movie, but it's there somewhere. Now, if you guys figure out what's going on before it's revealed, I want to know. I did not see that coming, which was refreshing, because I kept flip-flopping, and that doesn't happen often where it's like, oh, maybe it's this way, or maybe it's that way. And at one point, this one is the only thing I'll tell you, it's not a prequel. I thought it was a prequel
thought it
in the
was.
beginning.
That I didn't think. I didn't think it was a prequel, but where it actually went, I didn't see that either. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and there's no, like, superhuman strength or... hey, you know, this happens to you, maybe you get cut with a knife and then you can't do something. So it's all realistic and it's kept moving. So
unlike F9.
Always comes back to F9. Anyway, what do you rate this one?
So I'm going to give it a B-.
B-?
I enjoyed the movie, but there were things that I could have done without. Like the foreshadowing, and some of the characters were a bit... So, I mean, not the bigger characters, they were okay, but some of the smaller characters I kind of could have done without them.
Yeah, now this is the director's debut, Rodo Sayus something. I don't even know if you can say it.
Nope.
He actually wrote the first film. He wrote the Evil Dead remake. So, he wrote this one as well. So, it's good to see, you know, he's got some talent in there. Again, don't insult me as a horror fan. And for that, you're getting a C+. Just don't need to see the foreshadowing. Unless you are intentionally trying to throw everybody off. I don't think. I think you were just trying to give too many nuggets of information away. Now, guys, definitely go see this one in the theaters. As soon as it comes out on streaming, do watch it. He's not a protagonist. He's still an asshole. Maybe it's a redemption arc. Maybe it isn't. I'm interested in seeing where it's going to go. If it's going to go anywhere else after this. Poor box office may not make it go anywhere. But it's a lot better than what the original sequel was going to be, which he was supposed to be following the girl and the child to wherever they went. So this makes a lot more sense the way it was done. So let us know what you think about this in the comments. Did you see the first one? Did you like the first one? Were you confused watching the trailers like everybody else was? I know you were. I was. And I was kind of pissed off about it. But it is worth seeing. Let us know what you think in the comments below. We'd like to hear that. Even on Facebook, you can let us know in NERDBOX or the NERDBOX group on Facebook. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share away. Until the next.
See ya.